Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Juice Baseball channel. And welcome back to an episode of the Chicago Cubs Legends Fantasy Draft Series here on MLB The Show 25. In the last episode, we had the postseason. And unfortunately, it didn't go our way. Now, not because we just got beat by the Mets in the NLCS. That's an upsetting thing. The problem was I accidentally simulated Game 6 by pressing triangle and simulating the whole day. I didn't mean to do it. I was confused by... We had some weird playoff roster stuff going on. I was confused by it. I was flustered. I accidentally pressed the wrong button, and it simulated the whole game. We lost the game, which maybe we would have lost anyway if I would have done the quick manage thing. That's a very good possibility because we just didn't have that good of a playoff run against the Mets for some reason. But we ended up losing the sim game, and then the Mets go on and they lose in the World Series to the Seattle Mariners, who we played in the World Series a couple years ago. So it's an unfortunate loss in the NLCS. It might have happened regardless if I didn't mess up or not, but it is an unfortunate loss nonetheless. But we might be making some interesting moves in this offseason because I might be moving on from Craig Biggio, which sounds kind of weird because Craig Biggio has been one of our more consistent players in both the regular season and the postseason. But remember, this series is all about getting as many legends on the team every year as possible so you can see all the fresh faces. It's not a stale team every year with the same players over and over again. That's why we added Barry Bonds a couple years ago. That's why we added Ryan Howard and Bryce Harper and Jason Giambi and all these guys. And on the pitching rotation, the pitching rotation is probably the thing that we move on from the most. It's the thing that we update the most. And I'm looking to keep Lincecum and Paul Skeens because obviously Lincecum is coming off of a Cy Young this past season, so hopefully him and Skeens can absolutely dominate. Paul Skeens was unbelievable this year, and he was great in the postseason as well. So Cliff Lee is a weird one. He's probably going to get moved because he had a horrible postseason against the Mets. Garrett Cole, I don't know what to do with. I like him. I think he's fine. We also have Chris Sale as well, who we could turn into a starter if we need to. But we also have injured starting pitcher Steven Strasburg, who had a phenomenal regular season, but not a very good end of the regular season. He kind of struggled a little bit at the end of the regular season and then got hurt. So that's kind of where he's at right now, but he'll be back for the next season, obviously. So let's get into the postseason, why do I keep saying that? Let's get into the off season because we need to make some moves and we need to make this team a little bit better so we can get back to the World Series and win another one because we won one a couple years ago, but it's starting to get a little crazy now that we haven't won one in a couple years. So if you're curious about any stats or who won any awards or anything like that, go back and watch the past couple of videos. You can see all of that stuff in those videos. Let's get started here. Advance to the offseason. Our pitching coach, Sam Elliott, has decided to retire. That's not good. We also lose our contract with our manager and our farm director. So we've got to fill some big-time coaching positions, including the manager of all positions. Nobody makes the Hall of Fame. Let's start with the coaching staff. So we're going to need a new manager. Surprisingly, Bruce Bochy did not retire. Bruce Bochy's still here as our first base coach. But we're going to need a new manager. Do we go with the 50-year-old Isaac Stratton, which -1 break is not that bad? +3 power could be useful. -1 drag bunting is not the worst thing in the world, but he's 53. Jeremy Hefner, the +3 reaction, I don't really care about that much. +3 reaction's cool. It doesn't really move the needle for me. Kevin Cash is here. Maybe we make him a farm director or something. Kurt Gund doesn't really give me anything enticing, unfortunately. CJ Seamoss. I kind of like that first guy on the list, the Isaac Stratton guy. The -1 break doesn't really do much for me, so I think we're going to make an offer to Isaac Stratton. We're going to give him a 4-year deal worth $28 million per or over the course. Actually, no, but we're going to change that offer. Give him a little bit of a better offer. Does he like 3 years? He might like less years but more money, so we'll try that. Yeah, he likes that a lot. So he wants 3-year deal, $27 million over the total. We also need a pitching coach, a third base coach, and a farm director. So let's find a pitching coach here. We could go with Mauricio Casto, but at 61, that's a little old. He does give good abilities, though, or pluses to his ability. I mean, plus 2 K per 9 is not bad. That might end up being what we go for. Ricky Madlock gives plus 1 K per 9, plus 1 control, plus 1 pitching class. I like that one. I like that one a little bit more, maybe. The control, the hits per 9, the plus 2 K per 9, is that really going to mean that much? I think I'm going to go with the other dude, Ricky Madlock. I just don't know if the pitching clutch is going to matter that much. So we'll offer him 4.5 over 3 years. We need it's a third base coach. Okay. So we need a third base coach. -1 arm accuracy probably doesn't hurt us that bad. There's Kevin Cash. Sergio Navarro gives us plus 2 speed. Let's go with Sergio Navarro. He gives us plus 2 speed. We'll offer him $4 million per year, or over the 3 years. And then a farm director. I mean, I've been kind of, Jeremy Hefner as a farm director might not be bad. But that plus 3, I mean, the plus 3 reaction time just doesn't do much for me. Is this where we go for Kevin Cash as our farm director? It could be fun, but I feel like there's better options. Like a CJ Seamos is probably Semas. I don't know if I'm saying his name right, but he's probably a little bit of a better offer. So we will make him a $4.5 million deal. And hopefully all of those deals, I mean, they're at the max interest level, so hopefully all of them are accepted. Our exclusive free agents, we need to get them offered. I mean, Chris Sale's asking for so much money, but he could be a starter if we turn him to a starter. So who knows what happens there. But I think a $14 million per year deal is not that bad. Andy Pettit, we should probably bring back. What's the qualifying offer? 34.8. We can probably get him a lot cheaper than that. Yeah, we can definitely get him a lot cheaper. We can get him on 13 per year. He'll probably accept that. CJ Abrams is going to be a little bit expensive. I mean, a 2-year, $20.5 million deal is pretty expensive for CJ Abrams, but he had a crazy good year, and he's been getting hot, so, I mean, it makes sense. Gabriel Moreno, that's a very expensive contract for him, but I feel like he's worth it. And then Cool Papa Bell, I guess we just give him $1 million per year and see what happens. So we've got $61.5 million in pending offers. Hopefully those guys accept fairly quickly so we can see what our budget looks like. Let's get moving. Isaac Stratton has accepted the Red Sox offer to be a manager. Darn it. Okay. Seamoss is the new farm director. So we don't get our first offer as the manager. Now we have to pivot to a new guy. Who's our new manager going to be? Maybe it's Giancarlo Vaccaro? Plus 2 durability, plus 2 blocking. That doesn't really do much for me, though. It could be Jared Cherry, but he's got plus 3 bunting. Kevin Taylor, maybe? None of these guys are really giving me anything that's, like, eye-popping. Plus 3 clutch isn't bad. I don't know if I'm going to find anybody down here. It might have to be somebody at the top. Is it Freddie Peer? The minus 2 break, plus 2 power is not bad. Nolan Miles is cool, but he's got the minus 2 speed, and that might be something we don't want to deal with. Marco Cabrera, plus 3 contact. Kurt Gund, doesn't really do much. The walking's fine. We could obviously try to get into the battle with some of these other guys. Should we try to offer somebody, or try to outbid for Howard Trevino? Or do we go for somebody? I mean, these guys are getting lowballed for non-manager positions. I don't want David Cortez, though. His minus 2 accuracy, minus 3 bunting, I don't really want that. So I'd either go after Jeremy Hefner or Howard Trevino. Let's offer Howard Trevino. We'd have to bid a little bit more than the Rockies are, but we're ahead, so maybe he'll accept that. We'll see what happens. Ricky Madlock is our new pitching coach. Sick. We just have 2 more offers left. We're still in the lead for both of them, and they should just accept. I'm hoping that's the case. Trevino is our manager, so we outbid the Rockies to get Howard Trevino. He's our new manager. We're still waiting on third base coach Sergio Navarro to accept. We should. I mean, he's getting paid way more money for less years. So he hopefully accepts that fairly quickly, and he does. Our whole staff is now accounted for. That is awesome. Everybody's on contracts. In a couple of years, we're going to have to work on Chris Woodward and Bruce Bochy, but for now, Bruce Bochy might retire pretty soon. But for now, we're looking pretty solid there. And these exclusive free agent offers are still being nulled over. So hopefully they will accept. But we're going to be in a difficult spot where we're probably trading Cliff Lee. Other than that, maybe we trade Royce Lewis to get a little bit of money. Jason Giambi could get traded. I don't know. Let's open up free agency and see what even is available. Because I don't even know what's going to be available. We got the 40-man roster. We've got the arbitration deals that we're going to have to work on, the tendered contracts, all the usual stuff. But free agency, I saw Ken Griffey Jr. in there, and here he is. He's out of our price range because he's asking for 11 years for 41.9, but Griffey's kind of crazy. Everybody, there's no recommended free agents on our list. That's kind of wild. Apparently everybody's out of our price range because we have a budget of $1.94 million. Well, that makes sense. We have absolutely no money. We're definitely going to have to trade Cliff Lee. So he's getting absolutely shipped off. Strasburg should be back healthy, and he is. We could always move Chris Sale to starter. He probably goes crazy as a starter, just like how Garrett Cole was. But just because I might trade for another starter. It'd be cool to get Ohtani, but that's not going to happen, I don't think. King Felix is a possibility, which could be pretty fun. He didn't have a great year. Maybe that's why he's a little bit more available. How did Oswalt do after we got rid of him? Not very good. So it's probably a good idea to move on from him. Roger Clemens, he had a monster season after leaving us, which is just totally what should happen, right? Roy Halladay did not have a good year. We could get him fairly easily. What do I want to do here? Do we want to go for Randy Johnson? Randy's just getting paid way too much. We could probably make that deal, but he's getting paid way too much. There's Pedro. He was in the runner-up spot for the Cy Young. We just beat him on the last day. I don't know who the right person to trade for is, because I'd like to trade for like a Felix Hernandez, but he's making money that's very similar, even more so than what Oswald's or Cliff Lee's making. So I don't really, I mean, we're trying to free up money at the end of the day, so I don't think that's a smart idea to trade for somebody like that. But I do want to trade for somebody who could be a viable replacement. Who that is going to be, I don't know. It could be a Tom Glavine type, although he's pretty valuable. Wow, I didn't think he'd be that valuable. All right. Well, I could give you somebody. No, I don't think that's going to happen. Glavine's way too valuable. I don't really have the assets to get him. Do I have the assets to get anybody? I mean, Roki Sasaki, but we have to pay him. He's on arbitration, but he's probably going to be pretty expensive. We can't afford to add anybody new contracts that are going to be expensive. Kurt Schilling's on the last year of his deal, so he's playing the last year, and then he'll go into free agency, which will be interesting next year. There's Greg Maddux. He had a pretty solid season. His ERA got a little bit high. CC Sabathia might be cool. He's not making that much. I'm kind of interested in CC Sabathia. I know he didn't have a great year, but maybe that's a good thing. Maybe we can capitalize on that. And we can maybe get some extra value in return. This could be quite the deal. We could add Carlos Delgado, who's coming off a 34 home run season with a 287 average, slugging 524. That could be fun. We could also probably add Ellie. How did Ellie do? Not great. No, Ellie's got way too much value. Okay. Brent Rooker coming off a 31 home run season. But I'd prefer to stay away from the real life guys if possible. Here is the old Ken Griffey Jr., the heavy one, the one that goes to Cincinnati. We can't add him. Unless we go, there's Mike Trout, but he's super old and super expensive. We're going through that right now in Angels franchise. We could probably scoop up Griffey if we really wanted him. Right now we have Bryce Harper playing in the outfield and center field, which I'm going to keep, obviously. But if I gave you like Big Christmas, that'd be a pretty simple thing to do. It just, Griffey's making a lot of money, so I think that's not the right thing to do. Delgado's not making that much. I think Delgado could be a fun one, and I was looking to move on from Jason Giambi anyway, so I think that could be a fun little swapsies. Bring in Carlos Delgado. But we can also add even more value to this. We can get really in the weeds here with the value. Do the Pirates have any young players that want to come play for the Cubbies? You've got this guy, Ken Frieden, who could be pretty decent. He's a B potential player. You've also got Brett Paulson, also a B potential player, but he's already 24. The other guy's 20. Yeah, let me throw this deal in here. So you get Cliff Lee and Jason Giambi. We get CC Sabathia, Carlos Delgado, and Ken Frieden. Frieden. Boom. Deal has been made. Delgado is now here alongside our new starter, CC Sabathia. Well, he might not be a starter. Maybe we... Let me just go into the thing here and just make Chris Sale a starting pitcher and see what he goes to, because it probably should work the same as Chris Sale, right? Yeah, it worked, or as Garrett Cole. He goes up to a 99. Exactly what I expected. So with that being changed, our new rotation looks like this, which is pretty disgusting. Yeah, that's pretty disgusting. And then when Strasburg comes back, he probably... Is he still hurt? He shouldn't be hurt, right? Strasburg should still be here. Oh, he's in AAA. That's what, because he got hurt, so he moved down to AAA. So Strasburg is probably the starter over Sabathia. He's probably that fifth starter until he proves otherwise, because he had such a good year last year. He's probably the guy. We should probably trade Mizorowski. He's just not ready for the bigs, and he has no more options, so we can't move him down in the minors anymore. So we probably should trade him, because our bullpen is very full, and we have depth at the starter. We have Ben Clark, who's honestly probably ready to come up. We have Chase Petty. We have Chase Burns. We have the Chase brothers. So we have three guys already. This guy needs to be in AA, the guy that we just got. Actually, he's probably ready for AAA, honestly. We'll put him at AAA. But I don't know where Mizorowski falls. He's kind of in no man's land. He's not ready yet. But maybe if he continues to develop, maybe he will be ready. Who knows? It's hard to say. Hard to say what happens with him. As for the rest of the team, like I said, Biggio probably is next up on the trade market. So what kind of second baseman can we get in return for Craig the third leg? I don't want Brian Dozier. I don't want Jazz Chisholm. Smooth Jazz. Brian Roberts is a fun one. Little contact guy. Jackson Holiday, Ian Kinsler I don't want. Chase Utley I've talked about before, how he could be a cool one to grab. Jason Kipnis, not really much of a power guy. Roberto Alomar, I mean, that's a pretty sick one, but obviously he's very valuable for the Marlins. Not going to be attainable, I don't think. What would I have to give? I'd probably have to give, I'd have to give up A-Rod. Or I'd have to give up Barry Bonds. What about Evan Carter? No. Sosa, Big Christmas. He doesn't move the needle at all. Petty, Mizorowski, Clark, Strasburg. Lincecum moves it. Skeens moves it. Yeah, I don't think Roberto Alomar, as much as that'd be an awesome person to grab, we just don't have... The guys I'm willing to trade aren't going to get it across, and the guys I'm not willing to trade are not getting... Or the guys I am willing to trade, you know what I'm saying. I forgot what I was saying. I'm distracted by Alfonso Soriano, who might be... I mean, he's one of my go-to guys. He might be somebody that we can acquire for fairly cheap. I mean, if I give up Royce Lewis, it would be pretty easy. And I did talk about possibly giving up Royce Lewis anyway. We'll come back to Soriano. He might be the guy that we go after. I don't know why. I just do so well with Alfonso Soriano in these series. And he's probably the guy because I'm looking at these second base rosters and I'm just not seeing anybody else other than Bobby Alomar who I would go after, but I can't afford him like we saw. So I think Alfonso Soriano is going to be the guy. We toss in a little Royce Lewis action. He would be their best third baseman. So I think Biggio and Royce Lewis are headed to the Reds, and a couple interdivision trades because we traded with the Pirates, didn't we? So a couple interdivision trades, and we have made ourselves a little bit less expensive. We've made ourselves a little bit less expensive, but we probably are not done there because we don't really have that number one shortstop after we had to get rid of Jeter. I'd love a Jose Reyes type. Henry Aaron could be fun at the shortstop spot. We could get Trey Turner, but, I mean, Ezequiel Tovar's so cheap. That's the only problem. I would like Nomar Garcia Parra. That could be fun. But he's going to be a little bit more difficult to get. Jimmy Rollins. There's Jeter. We could try to get him back. Mookie. Ooh, Mookie is actually attainable, but is Mookie worth it? At $30 million? Probably not. Barry Larkin could be cool, but he's old. De La Cruz, Michael Young, Hanley. Hanley could be fun. Hanley doesn't have any power, though, for some reason. Maybe not. Ozzie Smith, the Wizard. He has got legitimately no power. I'm not really seeing anybody that's, like, attainable and that much better than Ezequiel Tovar. I mean, if we trade for Jimmy Rollins, is he going to be that much better? He's dropping at 32 years old. I mean, that might be a fun grab. Maybe that's something we do. Maybe we give you, like, Gabriel Arias, who's 29 years old. Although I don't really want to lose the second base depth. If I'm going to lose anybody, I'd give up that guy. And then I guess I would give up a bullpen arm. But it'd have to be somebody a little bit more valuable than that. I don't know if I have a pitcher that is going to get this across. Castellano gets it close. Not even Big Christmas puts it through. It might not be this guy. Might have to give up somebody slightly more valuable at first. We do need to get some shortstop depth because all we have is Colson Montgomery and Kevin McGongle. So we don't really have any shortstop depth at all. I could give up Gabriel Arias. But who's the other piece? There's got to be another piece to the puzzle here. Not even Mizorowski. I don't know if we have that other piece, at least in this combination. They want Evan Carter, but I'm not going to give up Evan Carter just yet. I don't think we have the combination of players just with Gabriel Arias in there. I could give up Christian Campbell. Is he really... I mean, he's developing. He's progressing fairly well. But maybe that's the point. Maybe we give up Christian Campbell. Although we lose a lot of second base depth if we give up 2 second basemen. Bryce Eldridge does a good job of moving it across. I would consider a Xavier Isaac type if I could find a new combination. This is where we get into the weeds, ladies and gentlemen. This is where we get into the weeds. Trying to find the right combination of players to push this across for Mr. Jimmy Rollins. And I don't know if we have that combination. I'd consider Alek Thomas, but again, not a lot of depth in the outfield. I don't really know where we're going to go. I might have to give up somebody slightly more valuable. Like if I give up Christian Moore, maybe there's a different combination if Christian Moore is a part of it. Because we have Christian Moore in the Angels series, so it's not like we need him twice. I mean, we have Christian Campbell as well. We don't need both of them in both series. We can get rid of one of them if it helps us get Jimmy Rollins, but none of these relief pitchers are going to help us. We could trade some of the starters, but I don't know if I'm ready to give up any of them yet. Evan Carter does. Jason Dominguez, I don't want to give him up. He's a 93. I don't want to give him up just yet. Man, there's got to be some sort of combination that I can get through. We could give up Christian Campbell. I don't really want to do that, though. There's got to be something. There's got to be one player that I'd be willing to give up that can move this through. I don't know if I have it. I mean, we know some of these starting pitchers can do it. I talked about maybe moving on from Mizorowski. Maybe this is the time. If it helps us get Jimmy Rollins. I mean, it makes a lot of sense. There's Albert Pujols, who I would like to have at some point. Mizorowski would be their fourth best starting pitcher, so he'd make the team. And maybe he could develop for them. Maybe he would develop for them. I don't know. What about if I give them Mason Albright and then found a different combination? Because I'm trying to be as stingy as possible here. I'm trying to not give up as much or as little. I'm trying to give up as little as possible to make this go through, as I always do, or always try to do at least. But I don't know if they're kind of holding steady on what they want to do here. I don't know if I'm going to be. They're going to be the ones that are stingy. They're not budging at all. I'm not giving up Castellano. I just got him. Not giving up Frieden. I just got him. Or Frieden. I just got him too. I'd give up these two guys, but obviously these two guys are not the ones that are going to get pushed. Chase Burns gets it done. Chase Petty probably gets it done. He does get it done. Ben Clark probably gets it done. Ben Clark gets it done a lot. Do I just trade Mizorowski? Do I just trade him? I probably do. I'm holding on to these prospects for no reason. Like, the whole reason we have these prospects in the first place is to trade for legend players. And now we have a situation where we can trade for a legend player. And it's not... I'm being too stingy on giving up my prospects, but I think this is the right move. We are getting a little bit more expensive with Jimmy Rollins, but I think this is the right move. Mizorowski goes to the Rangers along with Christian Moore. We bring in another shortstop in Jimmy Rollins. We probably should sign some free agent shortstops at some point just to get some more depth on the team. But that's probably going to be the only moves that we make, or the last move that we make, because we're not going to be able to get Pujols, Bryce Harper, and Bryce Eldridge. You know what? That's not as expensive of a deal as I thought that was going to be. You're telling me for Bryce Harper and Bryce Eldridge I can get Albert Pujols? I mean, I'm not going to give up Bryce Harper, but I thought that'd be a little bit more expensive than that. For Barry Bonds, I mean, I give him Barry Bonds pretty quickly. What about if I give them Carlos Delgado? If I give up Soriano, Delgado, and Howard, I can get Albert Pujols. At some point, we're going to get him. He's a free agent in a couple years. We'll get Albert Pujols. Don't worry. He'll be on our team at some point. But I think that's probably going to be the last move that I make, because we need to focus on... We did free up a little bit of money. Not that much, because we brought in Jimmy Rollins. But we need to focus on bringing our guys back, which is going to be a little bit of a problem. So I'm going to tender these contracts and bring these guys back. I'm going to offer salary arbitration to all these guys. And then I'm going to come back with a big problem, because we're not going to have enough money to bring all these guys back. So we're going to have to trade some more people. Okay, I've gotten it all done. We tendered all the contracts. They're all done. We have offered arbitration to everybody. It was only these few guys, but these few guys are pretty expensive in arbitration. And if you go to our budget, we are actually positive right now, but we're going to be negative very, very quickly because of all the arbitration deals that we have to work with. So we're not going to be signing any free agents, but we're going to have to make a trade. The fact that we have Garrett Cole on such a cheap contract is pretty nice. Our starting pitchers are actually fairly cheap. I mean, Skeens is making a ton of money, but we had to re-sign him. That's the whole point. We did bring in CC Sabathia. I want to like CC Sabathia, but Strasburg had such a good year. He dominated. He did get hit a little bit at the end of the season. I almost don't want to get rid of him. I think we should trade one of our relief pitchers, and I can't trade Andy Pettitte just yet. So maybe we should trade one of our relief pitchers. I mean, we had Jordan Zimmerman at one point. We could get a little bit cheaper if we go after him. Luke Weaver. Luke Weaver would be a lot cheaper. But do I trust Luke Weaver? I don't know. The bullpen needs to work. That's for sure. We need to, if we're going to trade for somebody, we need to know for a fact that they are going to not sell me in the postseason. That's the biggest requirement for joining my team is don't sell me in the postseason or I'm going to be super upset. I kind of like the idea of Luke Weaver, but it's only a 1-year rental, so maybe I don't like it as much now. I forgot that I didn't look at his contract. I thought he had more years on it. We could go for a Jordan Zimmerman. We had him previously. He was on our team. I wouldn't hate bringing him back. He is a little bit lower of an overall. I wouldn't hate that deal. We get a little bit cheaper. I might want to move on from Gregory Soto as well. This one we're not going to be able to trade anybody that good. Ben Joyce has developed fairly well, actually. We're going to have to get somebody down in this range here, like the third or fourth best relief pitcher on a team is probably where we're going to have to go. Abner Uribe is developing, actually. Good for Abner. We might go for Abner, yeah. He's very cheap, and he's still got arbitration for a bunch of years. He's got team control for a while. And I might be able to grab an extra shortstop. Can I get some shortstop depth? Possibly. We have a lot of closing pitchers. Jesus. I might not be able to get Cooper Pratt. I would like some shortstop depth, though. Shea Sanders is garbage, though. They've got Walker Jenkins, which is cool. We can get Jim Conine, Jeff's son. I don't think there's any real depth. Tamar Johnson we can't get. Robert Poisson we can't get. No, it's either going to be a really, really bad prospect or nobody at all. Because all these guys are going to have decent value, so we're not going to get anybody of note unless it is this Shea Sanders guy. We could just, I talked about we need depth. You might as well just get him because we do need some depth. So let's toss in a new addition in Abner Uribe, which could be cool, and then some shortstop depth in Shea Sanders. He's going to be a double-A player. We probably should also trade Sam because he would free up a little bit of extra money. Is there anybody else that's super cheap? Super cheap. They're super cheapy. Let's see. We do have Kershaw available, but he's probably not going to be cheap. Arnold Cato. Who in the wide world of sports are you? He's got Rally Monkey. Interesting. I am very much intrigued. Tickle me intrigued. Tickle the old pickle. I am quite the intrigued person right now. I'll toss you a 27-year-old who's a deep potential player who's never going to play for us. Give me Arnold Cato. Welcome aboard, the big dog. That is, there's Kenny Mayer. We got a lot of nice young bullpen arms now. We got Cato. We've got Kenny Mayer. I don't think they're ready for the bigs, though. We got a couple nice bullpen relievers, though. We do need to do renewable contracts for the 2 new players that we added, so we'll do that real quick. Bada bing, bada boom. Okay, so the budget now looks a little bit better. That should be enough. Yeah, maybe. It should be enough. We should have enough money to get the arbitration for all those guys. So unfortunately, there's all our trades that are going down. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to sign any fun free agents, but with the money that we have, the lack of money, we're just not able to go for anybody. The only guy that I would probably go after, Acuna's here. The only guy that I would probably go after is Griffey. We got to get back our guys though, so we'll see what happens. Craig Kimbrell signs a 6-year deal with the Cardinals, so he comes to the division. That's not good. Gunnar Henderson going to the Yankees for $379. That's kind of crazy. 40-man roster time. Okay. 40-man roster time. Who is on the 40-man that I don't want on the 40-man, and who's on the 40-man that I do want on the 40-man? Alek Thomas, honestly, I don't really care if he's not on the 40-man. I do want Kenny Mayer on there just because I guarantee he'd get picked up. That's for sure. I don't want him to get taken from me. Cato's already there. Everybody else I don't care about. They wouldn't get taken anyway, I don't think. Would Ralph Castellano get taken? No, there's no way he gets taken. He's too low of an overall to start. Because obviously on the fifth-year player draft, you have to start the whole year on the team or they just send you back to the team they took you from. So Castellanos not ready for the bigs yet, so he wouldn't get taken. But Alek Thomas and Gabriel Arias are definitely guys that could get grabbed. Oh, Kenny Mayer's not even eligible for... I didn't even see this. He's not even eligible for the Rule 5 draft, so he wouldn't get taken anyway. That's good to know. But Alek Thomas and Gabriel Arias are guys that could get grabbed. Everybody else here is good. Edgar Ferreira... Do I care about you? He's not even eligible for the Rule 5. Uribe. I probably want Uribe on here. He would definitely get taken by somebody. So we'll add him to the 40-man. Kopech. I definitely want you on here. Do I want Kopech on the 40-man? Elroy Sheehan, I probably do need on the 40-man. He's not even eligible, so he's not going to get grabbed. Do I want Michael Kopech on the 40-man roster? Probably. Just in case. I don't want to lose another bullpen arm. Kelenic, I don't care if he gets grabbed. He probably would. But I don't care if he does get grabbed. How many people we have in the 40-man? We got 37, 39. So we have one more spot available. Well, who's somebody that I want on the 40-man? Let's see. Do I want Kelenic on there? I probably want Ferreira on there. Even though he's not eligible, I probably want him on my 40-man roster for right now at least. So we'll do that. And we are good to go with all that. Tyler Glass now signs a deal with the White Sox, a 1-year deal. Riley Green going back to the Tigers, 9 years, $300 million. Joe Morgan going to the Mets. Today's the last day to sign arbitration or offer arbitration deals. We've already offered everybody an arbitration deal, so we're good there. Got no more guys in the tender contracts. Griffey is yet to sign anywhere. It's probably going to be a massive contract wherever he chooses to sign, but as of right now, he hasn't signed anywhere. Robin Roberts to the Red Sox. J-Ram, Jose Ramirez, 1-year deal with the Mariners, the World Series champs. And now we are into December. There it is, Ken Griffey Jr., and I was right. A 10-year, $425 million deal with the Diamondbacks. It doesn't matter what kind of save you are in, the Arizona Diamondbacks are going to splash the cash. They are just programmed to spend just buttloads of money, just buckets and buckets and buckets of money. And they get Griffey. We have the 28th pick in the draft this year, which is fine. I wish it would have came with the World Series ring, but it's okay. Orioles and Phillies are the top 2 picks this year in the draft. We will get to the arbitration stuff, but we got the Rule 5. I don't see any of our guys getting taken, which is nice. And it looks like we're going to get scot-free. Nobody on our team got taken, which is always a good thing. Another day to sign contracts. Acuna going to the Astros on a 10-year deal. Wow. That's kind of wild. He's 31. He gets a 10-year contract to go play in Houston. But we are almost finished with the free agency in the offseason. 2-year deal for Josh Gibson. 2-year deal for Josh Gibson. And here comes the important part. Here comes the reckoning. The arbitration hearings are about to happen. We have about $20 million in available budget. The panel sided with Cam Smith. We pay him 5.4. The panel sided with us for Michael Kopech. We're paying him 1.1. The panel sides with Kelnick. Or no, they side with us. Sorry. I'm reading it too fast. And we paying him 2.3. And the panel sides with Jason Dominguez. We're paying him 17.7. Oh my God, that's way above what I thought we were going to be paying him. Okay, that changes things. That was not his range of what we were thinking about paying him. I thought it was like 9 point something, and we have to end up paying him 17. That's crazy. I mean, he's already up here. I mean, that's crazy, man. What's his arbitration deal going to be next year? Like 24, 25? It's going to be something crazy. We have a new look team, though. Few new players on roster. And we are just above budget. So I guess the last thing to do is get to the regular season. And here we are. Chase Petty has been placed on optional waivers, no longer on the 26-man roster. Christian Campbell's on... Oh, no. Those guys might get taken. I guess I should have done that before. Well, that's not good. We have Christian Campbell, Chase Petty, Chase Burns, Bryce Eldridge, Jason Churio. All those guys I could see getting claimed by a team. And that would suck because we'd lose them for nothing. They would just get grabbed by other people. That would be real bad if that happened. So I hope that doesn't happen. And it also would really thin out our starting pitching depth. It would really ruin that. Our catching room is really thin as well. I don't have a lot of depth, do I? The depth is very lacking. We got a lot of outfield depth. I might have to sign some catcher free agents here. I know we don't have a ton of money, but I got to bring in somebody. I mean, I can't have 3 guys in the farm system. Mitch Garver, I can sign him, I guess. A 19-year-old. We'll get him on contract. We also need like 1 or 2 shortstops. So are there any cheap young shortstops? There's a 28-year-old. There's a 24-year-old. That's not bad. What about... Ooh, there's a 22-year-old and a 19-year-old. Let's go for the 22-year-old. We'll offer them contracts. So that at least gets our... Yeah, that gets our depth a little bit better at catcher. And at shortstop, it's a little bit better as well. Okay, so we have a little bit more depth now. Hopefully those guys don't get claimed, but I have a feeling that they will. Christian Campbell's cleared waivers. That's huge. Chase Petty has cleared waivers. Okay, I think everybody that mattered has cleared waivers, right? Yeah, everybody's cleared. Perfect. That's actually really, really big. I was really concerned that those guys would get picked up or claimed, but they don't end up getting claimed. That's huge. So our AAA roster, or AAA starting rotation is going to be Ben Clark, Chase Petty, Chase Burns, Colby Orozco, and then Ken Frieden is probably going to be how it goes. Gallardo's not ready for the AAA roster just yet. Our bullpen is massive. We got a lot of guys there. We've only got one singular catcher on the big league club. It's Joe Torre. We got Delgado and Howard. We've got Soriano with Campbell and Arias. Cam Smith, A-Rod. The depth is not amazing, is it? But we're going to have to deal with it. We're going to have to deal with it. And we open season... What is this, season 5? Are we on season 5 of this shebang? That's the budget. Yeah, this is season 5 upcoming. That's pretty crazy. That is pretty crazy. But the next episode, we will start season 5, and it looks like Chris Sale's going to be the number 1 pitcher for us. I'd rather have it be Garrett Cole, honestly. Strasburg's dropped down to a 90. So is Sabathia. We have a loaded bullpen, by the way. Absolutely loaded. K-Rod is our closer, but they have Andy Pettit as our closer, and he's gotten saves for us a bunch of times before. At least in the first year, he was our closer. We can swap him in and out if we need to. But we have a lot of bullpen depth. We have a decent starting rotation. I mean, moving Chris Sale over here was a pretty smart idea. It was the obvious choice to do that. And then the lineup, Jimmy Rollins, Bryce Harper, Barry Bonds, Sosa, Howard, Delgado. Ooh, do I like Delgado at DH or do Ryan Howard at DH? I'd probably switch these guys around, have Delgado be the first baseman. And then we've got Soriano, Torrey, and Rodriguez. I like the team. I like the team a lot. We got a lot of outfield depth, that's for sure. Not many people that can play backup catcher. We do have Cam Smith who can play shortstop, so if we need to have Rollins take a little bit of a breather, we can have a little bit of shortstop depth. But, oh, Delgado can play catcher. I forgot about that. Sick. So we do have a backup catcher. Nice. All right, but that's going to do it for this offseason episode. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, subscribe, channel, join the Juice Club. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching. I truly appreciate it. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.